Hey guys, welcome to the Vault. We're back with some exclusive content. Today we're doing the stock report for the week of June the 13th. So Pierre, I'm gonna stall while you take a sip maybe. Dasani, shout out to Dasani.
Yep.
And Pierre, take it away.
This episode is brought to you by Dasani.
Yes.
But yeah, so we had 2 weeks to kind of chew on this a little bit, right?
Mhm.
So this week was a little slower, but the week before wasn't that slow. So we have a couple of weeks to kind of work from here. So why don't we get started? Jason, you'll kind of work the controls here, and we'll talk through this. So I guess we'll go from worst to first, right?
Yep.
I think maybe we do a little different this time. Why don't we batch them in tiers first?
Okay.
Why don't we do that? So the bottom tier, what would the bottom tier be? Would be like, what do you guys think?
If we're going bottom tier, I think Sports World 165 had a bad couple weeks. Exclusive Fitteds and the usual suspect of ECAP City kind of belong in that bottom tier, I think. What do you guys think?
I don't think ECAP City's been near as bad.
Okay.
They got a couple of designs that aren't great, but they've been getting better. Sports World, minus their superhero pack restock, if you will, they had a bad last week. And Exclusive Fitted, they just haven't been dropping anything.
I might put 4U caps in this batch too, but like the upper end of it.
Okay.
The
They've
upper
been
end of
just
it.
slow. Yeah.
And
The
then
thing-
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say just the thing with 4U caps is like they release stuff, it's like steady. The thing is, it's like nothing really they do kind of just stands out and kind of sets them apart. It's not as memorable as maybe I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things where they're kind of slow and steady, but nothing that would throw you off or nothing that would throw you on.
Agreed. So all right, so this is like the lower tier, right? So I'm gonna go out there and say right now, Sports World's last.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that after the week that they had.
I think the 2 weeks that they had, right?
They've been kind of spamming popular logos, which is kind of good, but just their takes on them haven't been executed.
I read somewhere that they've dropped 18 of those LSD Tigers in the past few months.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't blame them. They still sell out, right? Every time.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah, no. Listen, I get it, man. The mountains are certain things that are just money in the bank, but they're not necessarily good versions of that tiger. Like
exactly
blue faces and stuff. It's just odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they did have the superhero pack and did have a few additions to that.
Then they had those corduroy brims.
The corduroy brims, man.
Now they belong. I think listen, I want to see the Sports World of like January, February.
Yeah. They've been trying to fight bots too. Credit to them.
Yeah, I like that part of it
or not.
Yeah,
I like that part of it that they're taking a stand, but like I mean that's a losing battle. I think we all know that.
Yep.
All right. So who'd you say second to last, guys?
I mean, I like this order we have right here.
Yeah. I would say Exclusive Fitted. They haven't really been dropping much in the stuff that they have been dropping.
They were on fire for a little bit.
They were.
I don't know if they're down. I say they're holding steady, right?
Holding steady, you think?
Yeah, because we gave them a big down a few weeks ago or a month ago or so. And it feels like they're still kind of in that same spot. And then ECAP City.
Like they've done enough to kind of pass Exclusive.
I mean, I'm almost willing to give ECAP City an up from where they were.
I'd give them an up.
Yeah.
I think they haven't shot themselves in the foot.
No. They do a ton of restocks. Now, granted, they're restocking some of the stuff that's not great, but it's stuff that's selling. So, and they do sell out. I mean, everybody's selling out everything. So, can't really use that as criteria anymore. But
yeah,
I'm okay with how we have it.
I'm okay with that too. I think 4U caps would be next, but we would say what with them, like probably holding.
Either holding, leaning towards down, but I think they are holding really realistically. What do you think, Pierre?
I wonder if I can.
I think they're I think that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think they've really done anything egregious to deserve a down, but they haven't really done anything that kind of stands out to make them go up.
This group right here has been floundering. Right.
So
I mean, I think exclusive fitted like 2 months ago was like the hottest thing for a little bit there. Like everything they were dropping, people love.
Yeah.
And Sports World too, about 2 months ago, it was like, and it's still kind of, both of them are very tough to buy from right now. Everybody's scooping them up, but the stuff isn't the same.
Kind of shows you how hard it is to maintain steady success, I guess, and stay fresh and making sure, they're doing the right things.
All right, cool. So the next tier would be probably New Era.
Cap
USA
King.
Cap King.
Yeah.
Still. Right?
New Era, Cap King, still. I mean, we're gonna put Hat Heaven in that.
Hat Heaven's got to be there for right now because
just no releases.
Yeah, but there's still stuff on the site you could buy.
Oh, yeah, a ton of stuff. Yeah.
I would say these. Go ahead.
Anthem, because I can't really put them with these other four.
Probably towards the top of this batch. Probably.
Yeah.
Well, slide them right in the middle.
Let's see though. So who would be the worst of this group of five? Now, New Era had that floral stuff that was better than I thought it was going to be.
It wasn't bad.
Cap King has some classic Yankees stuff, and they had those Pirates caps.
Pirates,
but they'd still put the apples on the back of some of the Yankees. And they, I don't know. I would probably.
So still had a good week followed by a not so good week. So they had those orange sunsets, so those orange peaches. They had like I think 7 or 8 styles. Those weren't bad. And then they had the Chicago Bulls stuff with 6-time champions.
The Bulls stuff was terrible.
Yeah, those were not good.
All right.
I would say still
between those two.
I would say still.
And then what are we doing? Holding?
Yeah, probably Holding, right?
Yeah.
And then USA Cap King next, or what are you thinking?
I think it's between them and New Era. So how do you value the good Pirates, the good 99s versus the selection?
I would go New Era next. I mean,
really
the only thing new. Yeah. About the only thing New Era brings to the table is they're the first
teams.
ones with City Connect and like the Colorado All-Star Game. Other than that, their designs from the last couple of weeks, the floral was okay, but 2 weeks ago they had
it felt 2 weeks ago.
So did everybody else. They only had the floral, really.
Okay. All right. So New Era next. New Era Direct would be next, and then USA, and they're probably. I'd say they're Holding, right? New Era.
Yeah, I mean.
USA Cap King, is USA Cap King Holding, or are they up?
I almost give them an up.
Those Pirates are really, really kind of nice.
They were. And you got to remember too, when we talk about like the apples on the back and the team described, I think we have to also evaluate on the fact that, like, listen, man, it may not be our cup of tea, but they're not.
No,
you know what I mean? I think an addition of an apple is different than like those hats, for example, that Sports World put out that were like that ice cream, whatever it was. I mean, it was white. Those things were a mess.
Yeah.
I would take a navy Yankees hat that looks nice and clean and simple with the apple on the back before I would one of those white things.
Yeah, the gold unders.
Those monstrosities.
And Cap King is one of those stores that has been around for a while, but then during the pandemic, they kind of transitioned to online. And from the orders that I've put through, they've shipped no problem, shipped fast, shipped clean. So I give them a little bit of extra bump for that.
Yeah, I say that would put Hat Heaven next, right? Because Hat Heaven basically is still riding strong on their restocks, but they're poised to have another pretty big drop. Not as big as the last one, but a pretty big drop.
Yep.
That we'll be previewing live either Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Most likely Wednesday night. So I'd say they're holding, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But Haven's perpetually gonna have it up and then a hold up and then a hold. Yeah. You know, maybe a down. I guess I don't know because, but it's gonna be rare. You know.
Yeah. Unless they go like a month without dropping, I don't see him really going down. Nothing he puts out is bad.
No.
Now with Anthem's probably next, and they're riding on the power of they did have the 6 gold collection kind of drop again, right?
Yeah,
that drop again. Yeah. So we can't forget about that. They had that rocket pack.
Yeah, the popsicle.
Yep,
the popsicle one.
And then they
had some of the sneaker stuff, the flight pack.
Some of the flight pack. Yeah, that's what. Listen, we said
those are good hats.
Yeah, we said we weren't going to put them in that other group, and I'm fine putting them towards the bottom, but they are kind of in that group because then they just put out that Canadian NHL team kind of hook pack, which is whether you see the connection or feel the connection or like the connection, you can't deny they're good hats.
That's fine. I'm okay moving them over here.
Yeah, but they're going to be at the bottom anyway, though. They're going to be at the bottom of that batch. But
that's fine.
They're getting there.
Yeah.
All right. So now we start talking about. Let's just do this. Who's the battle for the top this week? That's the big question, right? So you have Hat Club that had a ton of stuff.
Ton of variety.
A ton of variety. Yep.
Yeah, I mean they had the Beanpot collection. They had crossover stuff, right?
Beer pack.
Beer pack.
Fitted female direction.
Direction.
And then the regular stuff they normally put out, like a couple minor leagues, a couple design collective, a couple of clink room reboots,
a couple awesome Brave side patch stuff. I really like those, and
I will say the clink room stuff, the coloring, I don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some of it's been good, some of it's been not so good.
The early stuff
wasn't bad.
The early stuff was good. The newer stuff has not been that good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the pineapple's not bad if you missed it, but the stuff before the pineapple was bad, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So it's gonna be between them two. So let's talk about MyFitteds and Topperz. So Topperz had some really consistent, clean stuff over the past couple of weeks. MyFitteds
he's been dropping.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's been dropping daily, except maybe on Sundays. So
yeah, and MyFitteds probably has one of the hats of the year in that Cincinnati money hat. I mean, that thing is crazy.
And the also has blue ribbon was good.
Yep, they're and there's more beer hooks coming. There's more, but that doesn't count in this ranking. But they're
right.
I don't know. Is this? I would say this. I think Topperz had more. MyFitteds had better hats. That's my
So how are we feeling?
How do you quantify that? What do you give more? I guess points to. For me, I would say it's harder to release more. Actually, I don't know. I'm torn. Actually, I take that back because it is really hard to make a good hat.
Topperz is like a hat having MyFitteds like child
hybrid, like a hybrid.
Yeah, like it's like a hybrid. Yeah.
The one thing I will say about Topperz is it is easier to get hats from. Now, I don't know if that's a criteria you guys are willing to use, but MyFitteds is almost next to impossible to get a hat on a drop from.
Yeah, I think we go like on the hat, the way the hats look, you know, or you know, because I mean, at the end of the day, I think Topperz is probably going to have that problem pretty soon.
Yeah.
Once people realize that it's not as expensive as you might think, there's suddenly going to be a lot more people buying from them. But I think with what MyFitteds has coming, I'm willing to say I put Topperz over them right now. I think there's just so many more hats.
Yeah,
and a lot of variety too, like with the MLB, the NBA, NFL.
Yeah. I was going to say, and remember some of the criteria really quick though, Liam, before you go, right, is like, you know, you got to kind of quantify different things at different points, depending on the size of the vendor.
Yeah.
Depending week to week. Now, these are just like art. Like, I mean, You can't
arbitrary.
really, you
Yeah.
can't really quantify still versus lids. You know, it's just about like this is just how we rank them as, you know, in terms of what we felt and what we saw. You know?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I don't think we would necessarily take points away for MyFitteds selling out, because that's kind of like a good thing. But I would give a little bit extra leeway to someone who has more stock, and you can pick up a hat like a day or two later, right? So I don't know, it's still arbitrary, but you know, it's good that a store like Topperz can order like a good enough quantity that, you know, you can get it a little bit later. Although some of the ones are starting to sell out instantly.
Well, we've seen weeks where Sports World's been number 2 and Hat Club's been number 3. We've seen weeks where, you know, Hat Heaven beats Hat Club.
Yeah.
We've seen weeks where Hat Club beats everybody. We've seen weeks where MyFitteds beat everybody. Lids beat everybody.
No, I wasn't talking about the overall list. I was just adding that as an additional criteria between
extra
these two.
point maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm fine with how we have it.
I think MyFitteds is holding, right?
Yeah, that's probably the lowest you'll ever see them.
Well, no, there's a couple weeks where we had 2 hats.
Fair.
Yeah.
When we were doing it weekly, there was a couple times, but I'd say Topperz is up.
Yeah,
I would agree. Just the frequency of drops and the variety of drops, for sure.
Yeah. All right, now let's debate this. So
now the real question.
Yeah. So I did, you know, I love the Serapes. I love them. South Beach, I love most. I love like 50% of them. The white with the floral, I really think they're attractive hats. I just don't see people buying more than just like their own respective team or one team that they really like, because it's just such a risky move with a white hat. And that design is literally, I mean, you're not wearing that thing year round.
No,
there's no way.
But they did a great job on the patches on that for sure.
They did, but it's easier to pop off a white hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of those patches were just done in the regular colorway, but it's a good move.
They were all South Beach inspired colors.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the white, and then you had the white front panels.
The white front panels. Yeah.
The all-star game ones. Yeah, those are nice.
The classic with the green and the gray unders.
Yep.
The non-rail hats.
You also had some other random stuff. You had some Roy G. Bibbs drop.
Roy G. Bibbs drop, yeah.
Plus the strength of the stores. You had a lot of this stuff is in store now. So if you didn't get it online, there's still some of these pouring into stores as we speak.
There's some stuff in store that doesn't seem to be popping up online. So we've seen a couple of things pop
Atlanta.
Up. Atlanta in particular with the Tomahawk, with the Hank Aaron patch. It looks similar to the one that MyFitteds dropped. So they've got a couple jersey front hats. A lot of the black and blue stuff is showing up in store before it's online, it looks like. So quantity wise, there's a lot. They're dropping a lot.
Now one negative though was those NFL Americana hats.
Yeah. It's interesting, the NFL and the MLB, but they all sold out for the most part, didn't they?
No, there's still quite a few of them available online.
Those I tend to always see go clearance, not the NFL ones, but the MLB ones. I always seem to see them clearance at lids, but maybe it's
anything time bound usually will hit.
Yeah,
because it's time sensitive almost. They just gotta get rid of them.
I mean, if there was ever a week where lids was gonna topple Hat Club again, it would be this one. But I just think Hat Club had too much good stuff.
I agree. Lid, I mean, it was great. Lids dropped all that stuff, but Hat Club had a ton more variety. Just a lot of good hats came out from Hat Club.
So where are you going, Leon? Lids or Hat Club?
I'm going Hat Club over, mostly because of the variety. Like, so one of the criticisms we've heard in the past is like they apply one colorway across all teams, and that's kind of a way to do it, which is fine. But the stuff like the beer hook and then the ladies pack, they're all one pack, but none of the hats look the same. Right. So I would kind of give the edge to Hat Club in that regard. Lids was close. They had a lot of stuff drop. They had a lot of variety. You could probably catch your team on a lot of these drops if you were, kind of following around. But that's kind of where I stand with that.
Right, but remember, like, I mean, Hat Club made its living off these packs.
Oh yeah, yeah. What I mean is, like, I don't think I take away. If someone does that, I'm not taking away points. But if someone goes the other way and increases their degree of difficulty, then I give them extra points, I guess, in this fake scale of rating that we use or whatever. But just, I don't know, like when you land something with a higher degree of difficulty, you get better marks, I think.
In my opinion, in my opinion, right, when it comes down to this, I have a hard time choosing between the two. Yeah. When you start to talk about, like, I have all kinds of people sending me pictures of stuff that are in lid stores that isn't online. Then you see the stuff that is online. Then you see the stuff that's sold out online, but is in stores now. The power of all that it's a pretty strong week. Now, they're not going to be strong every week because it's going to end up selling out.
Yeah. Right? And the weeks end up kind of blurring together for them because there's not like a set day where, okay, we're dropping this collection now.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of residual activity happening, you know?
Yes.
Well, yeah, even like with the Serapes, we've only seen like 12 of those online. There's probably another 18 of them coming.
Yeah. I mean, pretty easy to guess that. Yeah, they're probably doing all teams with that.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
Or at least close to it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's the thing is, like, there's no set release schedule, so it kind of gets hard to kind of nail down, you know, when one thing starts and when the other thing doesn't. But I mean, it's still a strong program. They got probably the best rewards in-store program of any store out there. No stores give me back $10.
Doesn't really have anything to do with a hat week, though.
No.
It makes buying their hats a lot easier for me, though.
Yeah, no, it makes it easier. It makes it easier, but it doesn't change the fact of whether or not the hats were quality or not.
I guess.
No, it doesn't change that. So, like, when we're just talking about, like, the best hats of the past 2 weeks, like the rewards program, you're right. The rewards program is fantastic, and people should take note of it. But it doesn't really change, like, where they should be ranked.
Yeah, if that's the case, we'll put them at number one every week.
Right, because if we were doing like best place to buy a hat, then I would be like, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if Lids drops 6, let's say, as an example, right, and you're gonna compare it to catching 4 hats at Hat Club, I don't know, just in my head, I just give it a little extra to the Lids on that in that case, because it's just easier to get, you know, more money back, I guess.
Yeah.
Because for me, like in Canada, like shipping and all that stuff, that does play a factor. Because if I have to buy, you know, one hat from a place and it's going to cost me an extra $30
but
to ship
change which hat looks better to you. It just changes where you're going to buy more. Like,
yeah.
If we're just looking at the hats themselves, that's not changing the way you it's not beer goggles for hats.
Right.
You know, it's like just.
I guess.
All I want is really talking about, like, we can always bring awareness to that, but I think it's just about like, all right, who had the best hats over the last 2 weeks? And for me, this was a tough week to choose between Liz and Hat Club. I will give Hat Club a slight edge, but I don't think it's as big as it's not this landslide that some people might think when you look at it in its totality. You know, but yeah, I mean, listen, I think we're all in agreement though. Hat Club's at number 1. Sports World's dead last, and you know, we'd love to see. I'd love to see Sports World put the pedal to the metal again and get back to what they were doing like 3 or 4 months ago when they were legit selling out for legitimate reasons, not just because of a fear of missing out.
Yeah, I think the big thing to consider is the gap is significantly smaller. I mean, 1 through 4 can interchange.
Yeah.
On any given week. That's what's crazy because like last year it was Hat Club and everyone else.
Oh yeah, no. Now it's those 4 can. You're right. Those 4 can interchange quite easily.
And actually, Hat Heaven or a New Era, if they ever get their act together, could easily slide up into there too. Hat Heaven, if they would release more often, they would be in that top 4 for sure.
No, but Hat Heaven, I think, is always going to be one or two when they have a big release, and then they're going to drop to the middle of the pack after the big release. So they are in that top 5, you know.
Yeah, they are. I'd say it's pretty safe that they're in the top 5.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Well, this was pretty good. I mean, this wrapped up the last 2 weeks pretty nicely. Kind of put a little bow on it, right? You know, Hat Club ends up pulling out, pulling this 2-week kind of time period out. But let's see what's coming next, right? Because there's a lot more of the year left. Obviously, with some opportunities with New Era and their lead times and whatnot, might make these weeks a little bit lighter, but that'll give us a little bit more of an opportunity to kind of really dig in a little bit. And it'll just kind of be, I guess, a little bit more detailed in terms of how we look at it, right? Rather than having to step back from this wider angle. But I appreciate both of you fellas kind of taking us through this. Jason, as always, thanks for putting the visuals together and kind of manning the controls as we did this. And Leon, I appreciate your take on Canadian shipping and how it impacts your hat goggles, so to speak.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know. For me, it does.
No, I know. I'm just playing with you. All right. So with that, fellas, we'll wrap this one up. Leon, you ready to take us away, big fella?
Yeah. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video on the way out. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Check out our podcast available on all major streaming platforms, and pick up some of our official merch available at viewsfromthevault.com. Until next time, Jason, Leon, and Pierre, we're signing out. Stay fitted, guys.
See you, everybody.